The stars glimmered like cold, distant jewels against the black canvas of space. On the bridge of the United Earth ship Resolute, Sergeant J. Sung Park stood absolutely still. His dark eyes scanned the massive viewing window, watching the endless darkness that stretched beyond human understanding. Around him, the ship hummed with quiet energy. Nobody expected much from humans in the year 2287. For decades, Earth had been trying to prove its worth to the Galactic Confederacy, a massive collection of alien civilizations that viewed humanity as little more than insects. The aliens had technology that could crush entire planets. They had ships that could travel faster than light. They had weapons that could destroy entire star systems with a single pulse. Humans had determination, and Jae Sung Park was about to prove that was enough. "Incoming transmission," announced Captain Hyejin Kim. Her voice was calm, but her fingers moved quickly across the holographic control panels. The bridge crew watched in silence. Every person knew this moment was important. The transmission flickered to life, and a stream diplomat appeared, a creature made of living crystal, its body changing shape with each movement. Sharp edges caught the light, creating rainbow patterns that danced across the ship's metal walls. The creature looked nothing like a human. It was beautiful and terrible at the same time. "United Earth Representative," the diplomat began, its voice sounding like mathematical calculations instead of words. "We have reviewed your application for galactic recognition." Jae Sung kept his face neutral. He had been preparing for this moment for months. His team had trained harder than any military unit in human history. They knew what was coming. The crystal diplomat continued. "Humans are classified as a Class F developmental species. Your biological structure is weak. Your technological capabilities are primitive. Your physical performance is below the minimum standards required for interstellar engagement." Class F, the lowest possible ranking. It meant humans were considered less important than most farming animals in the galaxy, less valuable than simple machines. The Astrine Empire saw humans as nothing more than a temporary species that would eventually die out. Captain Kim remained silent. Her hands were clasped behind her back, her posture straight and professional. Jae Sung knew she was controlling her anger. Humans had fought too hard and come too far to be insulted like this. The transmission continued. Numbers and statistics filled the screen. Comparative charts showed human capabilities next to other galactic species. Everywhere, humans were at the bottom. Weakest muscles, shortest lifespans, most limited technological development. But numbers didn't tell the whole story. Jae Sung's lips curved into a small smile. The Astrine diplomat had no idea what humans could do when they were challenged. No idea about human training. No idea about human spirit. "Your application is denied." The crystal being concluded, the transmission ended. Silence filled the bridge of the Resolute. Outside, stars continued their ancient dance. Inside the ship, something was brewing. A challenge. A chance to prove everything the galaxy thought it knew about humans was wrong. Sergeant Jae Sung Park looked at his captain. "We're ready," he said simply. The real test was about to begin. Commander Seok-ho Lee sat in the briefing room, reviewing the Astrian transmission. Holographic screens surrounded him, showing detailed analysis of the diplomatic rejection. Each screen displayed a different perspective of humanity's current standing in the galactic community. The Astrine Empire's classification system was brutal. Species were ranked from Class A to Class F based on physical strength, technological advancement, and potential for survival. Humans had just been placed in the lowest category, Class F. This meant they were considered less valuable than most automated machines and some basic life forms. "We need to change their minds," Seok-ho said to himself. His fingers touched a small holographic display, bringing up images of the Marine team he had selected. 6 humans who represented the best of human potential. Each one was more than just a soldier. They were walking proof of human adaptability. The team members gathered in the training hall. Massive windows showed the endless blackness of space. Training equipment filled the room. some designed by humans, some copied from alien technologies. Jin Woo Park stretched his muscles, watching a holographic display that showed alien strength comparisons. "We're going to prove them wrong," Jin Woo said quietly. Yu Jin Choi checked her equipment. She was the team's technical expert, with hands that could repair complex machines in seconds. Min Ki Lee stood nearby, his body a perfect example of human physical conditioning. Yun Ji-Kwan reviewed the challenge protocols, her mind already working through potential scenarios. Sergeant Jae-sung Park walked into the room. Everyone went silent. He was the team leader, the one who had designed their training approach. His body told a story of years of hard work and dedication. Muscles moved under his skin like carefully engineered machines. "The Estrines think we're weak," Jae-sung began. His voice was calm and clear. "They believe humans cannot survive in complex galactic environments. They see our short lifespans. They look at our limited technology, but they don't understand our most important skill." He paused. The team knew what was coming. Adaptation. Jae-sung continued. "We learn. We grow. We change faster than any species in the galaxy." The training simulation appeared on the massive screens. It was a complex challenge designed to test every possible human limitation. Extreme environments, impossible physical tasks, mental challenges that would break most species. Sung Min Kang reviewed the initial data. "The survival probability is less than 0.03%, he reported. "Exactly," Jae-sung responded. "That's why we'll succeed." The team understood what this meant. This was more than a training exercise. This was humanity's chance to prove its worth to the galaxy. If they failed, humans would remain at the bottom of the galactic hierarchy. If they succeeded, everything would change. Dae-Yun Seo adjusted her communication equipment. Signals would be sent back to Earth, recording every moment of their preparation. Millions would be watching. The hopes of an entire planet rested on their shoulders. "We are not just soldiers," Jae-sung said, looking at each team member. "We are representatives of our entire species. The Estrines think we are weak. We will show them what humans can really do." The training room became quiet. Outside, stars continued their silent dance. Inside, 6 humans prepared to change the course of galactic history. The training facility was unlike any place in human history. Massive chambers stretched for kilometers, each designed to simulate impossible conditions. Gravity could change in seconds. Temperatures could drop from boiling to freezing in moments. Atmospheric pressure could crush most living beings. Sergeant Jae-sung Park stood at the center of the main training hall. His eyes scanned the complex environment around him. Every detail had been carefully planned. Every challenge was designed to test the absolute limits of human capability. "First stage," he announced through the communication system, "environmental adaptation." The room began to change. Gravity shifted, pulling the Marines in different directions. Most species would immediately lose balance. Most bodies would break under such stress. But these were not most species. These were humans. Jin Woo Park moved first. His body twisted in midair, using the changing gravity like a dancer uses music. Where other beings would fall, he found balance. Where other species would struggle, he found opportunity. Yu Jin Choi worked on the technical systems. Her hands moved across holographic displays, tracking every change in the environment. Complex mathematical equations appeared and disappeared. She was doing more than monitoring. She was learning, adapting. Min Ki Lee tested the physical limits of human endurance. Weights that would crush normal beings became his playground. His muscles worked like perfect machines, responding to each new challenge with impossible speed and strength. Yoon Ji-Kwan focused on mental challenges. While the physical environment changed, she solved complex problems. Mathematical equations, technical challenges, psychological tests designed to break most species' mental capacity. Sung Min Kang managed the communication systems. He tracked every piece of data, every small change in their performance. Signals were sent back to Earth, recording each moment of their incredible preparation. Daeyun Seo worked on medical monitoring. Her systems tracked every biological change in their bodies: heart rates, muscle responses, neurological activity. She was ensuring they could survive what was coming. Jae-sung watched them all. This was more than training. This was a demonstration of human potential. The room temperature dropped to -200 degrees. Atmospheric pressure changed. Radiation levels increased. These were conditions that would kill most species in seconds. The Marines continued their work without pause. "We are not just preparing for a test," Jae-sung told his team. "We are preparing to change how the galaxy sees humans." Hours passed. Days of training compressed into moments. Each team member pushed beyond known human limits. They were not just soldiers. They were pioneers. They were proof of what humans could become. The Astrine Empire believed humans were weak. They saw short lifespans, limited technology, basic biological structures. What they didn't understand was the human ability to grow, to change, to become something more. Commander Seok-ho Lee watched from a separate observation room. His team was preparing to do something no human had ever done before. They were going to prove that potential is not given. It is earned. Outside the training facility, space continued its silent dance. Stars burned, galaxies moved, and inside, 6 humans were preparing to show the universe what they were truly capable of doing. The real challenge was about to begin. The observation platform was a marvel of alien technology. Floating in the middle of deep space, it was designed to test species from across the galaxy. Massive transparent walls allowed full viewing of the testing area. Astrine diplomats watched with cold, calculating eyes. Sergeant Jae-sung Park stood at the entrance of the first challenge zone. Behind him, his team waited. Each member wore a special suit designed to monitor every biological response. Sensors tracked their body movements, chemical changes, and energy output. "First challenge begins in 3 minutes," announced a computer voice in multiple alien languages. The Astrine observers looked bored. Humans were just another species to test. They had seen thousands come and go. Most failed quickly. Most broke under the simplest challenges. The first test was an obstacle course designed to be impossible. It combined multiple environmental challenges: gravity shifts, radiation zones, extreme temperature changes, narrow passages that would crush most biological beings. Jae-sung moved first. His body was not just muscle. It was a machine of perfect adaptation. Where other species would calculate, he would react. Where other beings would stop, he would find a way through. The first section involved moving through a zero-gravity zone filled with random energy pulses. Most species would be destroyed instantly. Jae-sung moved like water. His body twisted. His muscles responded faster than any computer could track. Jin-woo followed. Then Yu-jin. Then the rest of the team. Each moved with a precision that was almost impossible to believe. The Astrian diplomats leaned forward. Their crystal bodies began to show small cracks of confusion. This was not how humans were supposed to move. Radiation zones came next, areas that would kill most biological life in seconds. The human team moved through like it was nothing. Their bodies absorbed and adapted to radiation levels that would destroy most species. Eun Ji-kwon solved complex mathematical problems while navigating the most difficult section. Her brain worked faster than the course's computer systems. Where the test was designed to create confusion, she found clarity. Min-ki Lee demonstrated strength that broke every known biological calculation. Weights that should have crushed him became tools. His muscles worked with an efficiency that challenged everything the Astrines knew about biological life. Temperature changes came next. -250 degrees to +500 degrees in moments. Most species would freeze or burn instantly. The human team adapted. Their bodies changed. Their suits helped, but their biology did more. Some Min Kang tracked every moment of data. Signals went back to Earth. Millions watched as humans did what was supposed to be impossible. Daeun monitored their biological responses. Her systems showed something incredible. The humans were not just surviving. They were improving with each challenge. The Austrian diplomats stopped watching with boredom. Now they watched with something close to fear. Jae-sung completed the final section of the course. His body showed no signs of stress, no signs of damage. Where other species would be broken, he looked ready for more. Challenge completed, announced the computer. The observation platform went silent. Humans had done something no other species had ever done before. They had turned a test designed to destroy them into a demonstration of their potential. The real challenge was just beginning. The second stage of testing began with a challenge that had destroyed every other species before humans. A complex problem-solving arena designed to break mental and physical capabilities simultaneously. Massive holographic screens surrounded the testing area. Austrian diplomats watched with growing confusion. Their crystal bodies shifted colors, a sign of increasing uncertainty. Yu Jin Choi stepped forward first. Her hands moved across holographic interfaces faster than most computer systems could process. Where other species saw complex problems, she saw opportunities for solution. The first challenge involved solving a three-dimensional mathematical puzzle while navigating a changing physical environment. Gravity shifted, walls moved, energy waves interfered with communication systems. Most species would become confused immediately. Yu Jin's mind worked like a perfect machine. Her fingers touched holographic displays. Her brain processed multiple layers of information simultaneously. She was not just solving the puzzle. She was understanding its deeper structure. Min-Ki Lee demonstrated physical capabilities that broke every known biological calculation. He lifted weights that should have crushed any normal living being. His muscles worked with an efficiency that challenged everything the Austrians knew about biological life. In one section, he carried equipment weighing more than 10 times his body weight. The weight would destroy most species instantly. Min-Ki moved like it was nothing. His body adapted. His muscles responded with impossible strength. Eun Ji-kwon solved psychological challenges that would break most species' mental capacity. Complex scenarios designed to create confusion became simple problems for her. Her brain processed information faster than the testing system could change. The Austrian diplomats began to lean forward. Their previous boredom had changed to something close to fear. Jae-sung Park watched his team. Each member was showing something unique. They were not just completing challenges. They were rewriting what was possible for biological life. The next challenge involved surviving in an environment that would kill most species in seconds. Extreme radiation, impossible temperature changes, atmospheric conditions that would destroy normal biological systems. Jin-Woo Park moved through the challenge like it was nothing. Where other species would calculate, he would react. His body adapted faster than any computer could track. Radiation levels that should have destroyed him became nothing more than background information. Sung Min Kang tracked every moment of data. His communication systems worked perfectly. Signals went back to Earth. Millions watched as humans did what was supposed to be impossible. Daeun monitored their biological responses. Her systems showed something incredible. The humans were not just surviving. They were improving with each challenge. Their bodies were learning, changing, becoming something more. The testing area became a demonstration of human potential. Where other species saw limits, humans saw opportunities. Where other beings would stop, these Marines would find a way forward. Another impossible challenge came. Another chance to show what humans could do. The Austrian diplomats' crystal bodies began to show more cracks. Their perfect, calculated world was being challenged. Humans were not supposed to be this capable, not supposed to be this adaptable. But they were. Jae-sung looked at his team. They had trained for this moment, prepared for this challenge. They were not just soldiers. They were proof of human potential. The challenge continued. The humans kept moving forward, breaking every known rule of biological limitation. The galaxy was about to learn something important about humans. The final stage of the demonstration approached. Everything that had come before was preparation for this moment. The Astrian diplomats gathered closer to the observation screens. Their crystal bodies showed signs of stress, small cracks appearing in their perfect surfaces. Jae-sung Park stood at the center of the testing area. Around him, his team prepared for the most challenging test yet. This was more than a physical challenge. This was a demonstration of human potential. The challenge began with a complete environmental reset. The testing area transformed into a complex landscape that changed every few seconds. Gravity shifts, radiation pulses, temperature extremes, atmospheric conditions that would destroy most species in moments. The first section tested total environmental adaptation. Most species would calculate their survival chances. Humans would find a way to survive. Jin-Woo Park moved first. His body became a perfect machine of adaptation. Where other beings would freeze, he found movement. Where other species would calculate, he would react. Each muscle worked with impossible efficiency. Yoo Jin-choi managed the technical systems. Her hands moved across holographic displays faster than most computer systems could process. Complex problems became simple solutions in her hands. Min-Ki Lee demonstrated strength that broke every known biological calculation. Weights that should have crushed him became tools. His muscles worked with an efficiency that challenged everything the Astrians knew about biological life. Yoon Ji-kwon solved mental challenges that would break most species' understanding. Complex scenarios designed to create confusion became simple problems for her. Her brain processed information faster than the testing system could change. Sung Min Kang tracked every moment of data. Signals went back to Earth. Millions watched as humans did what was supposed to be impossible. Daeun Seo monitored their biological responses. Her systems showed something incredible. The humans were not just surviving. They were improving with each challenge. The Astrian lead diplomat watched in growing disbelief. Humans were supposed to be a weak species, short-lived, limited in potential, but everything they were seeing challenged that understanding. Jae-sung completed the most difficult section of the challenge. His body showed no signs of stress, no signs of damage. Where other species would be broken, he looked ready for more. The testing area became a demonstration of human potential. Where other species saw limits, humans saw opportunities. Where other beings would stop, these Marines would find a way forward. Another impossible challenge came. Another chance to show what humans could do. The Astrian observers' crystal bodies began to show more significant cracks. Their perfect, calculated world was being challenged. Humans were not supposed to be this capable, not supposed to be this adaptable. But they were. Jae-sung looked at his team. They had trained for this moment, prepared for this challenge. They were not just soldiers. They were proof of human potential. As the final moments of the demonstration approached, something changed in the observation area. The Astrian diplomats were no longer watching with boredom or calculation. Now they watched with something closer to respect. The challenge was more than a test. It was a statement. Humans were not a weak species to be ignored. They were a potential that had been waiting to be understood. The galaxy was about to learn an important lesson about human capability. The demonstration was not over, but everything had already changed. The official hearing took place in the central chamber of the Galactic Confederacy. Massive holographic displays surrounded the room. Representatives from thousands of alien species watched with intense interest. Commander Sik-ho Lee stood beside Sergeant Jae-sung Park. Behind them, the rest of the Marine team remained perfectly still. They were not just soldiers. They were representatives of an entire species. The lead Astrian diplomat approached the central platform. Its crystal body still showed the cracks from the demonstration. Where once there was certainty, now there was something different. Something close to respect. Humans have challenged our understanding. The diplomat began. Its voice carried across the massive chamber. We reviewed the full recording of your demonstration. Our initial classification was incorrect. Millions watched the transmission. On Earth, entire cities had stopped to see what would happen. This was more than a military test. This was humanity's moment to prove its worth to the galaxy. The diplomatic records would show a simple statement, but the meaning was much deeper. Humans were no longer considered a Class S species. Their potential had been recognized. Jae-sung remembered the training, the years of preparation, the moments when everyone told them they were not good enough. Now, everything was different. Yoo Jin-choi's technical analysis had been key. She had broken down their performance into clear mathematical terms that even the most calculating species could understand. Her work showed how humans adapted faster than any known biological system. Min-Ki Lee's physical performance had challenged every known biological limitation. Strength measurements that should have been impossible became reality. His body was proof of human potential. Eun Ji-kwan's mental capabilities had impressed even the most advanced computational species. Problems designed to be unsolvable became simple challenges in her hands. The Austrian lead diplomat continued. We are upgrading human classification to a provisional Class B status. Further observation will determine final placement. Provisional Class B. It was more than anyone had expected, more than anyone had thought possible. Some Min-Kang had tracked every moment of data. Signals went back to Earth. This was a historic moment. Humans were no longer at the bottom of the galactic hierarchy. Daeyeon Seo's medical reports showed something even more incredible. The human team had not just survived. They had improved during the demonstration. Their bodies had learned and adapted in real time. The chamber went silent. Representatives from thousands of species watched the human team. Where once there was dismissal, now there was curiosity. Now there was respect. Commander Seok-ho Lee stepped forward. Humans have always been about potential, he said. His voice was clear, strong. We are not defined by our current capabilities. We are defined by our ability to grow. Jae-sung looked at his team. They had done something impossible. They had changed how the galaxy saw humans. The Galactic Confederacy would never be the same. Humans had proven they were more than a minor species. They were a potential waiting to be understood. Outside the chamber, stars continued their ancient dance, but something had changed. 5 years passed after the historic demonstration. The galaxy looked different. Humans were no longer seen as a minor species. They had become something more. Sergeant Jae-sung Park stood on the observation deck of the United Earth Command Center. Outside, massive space stations buzzed with activity. Human ships moved between alien territories with a confidence that would have been impossible before. The Marine team that changed everything had become legends, not just in human history, but across the entire galactic community. Yoo Jin-choi now led the most advanced research division in human history. Her work bridged technological gaps between human systems and alien technologies. Problems that once seemed impossible became simple challenges in her hands. Min-Ki Lee had transformed military training across multiple species. His understanding of biological adaptation had become a standard for galactic military preparation. Species from across the galaxy studied human training techniques. Eun Ji-kwan developed new problem-solving systems that changed how intelligent species approached complex challenges. Her mental techniques became required learning for diplomatic and scientific teams. Commander Seok-ho Lee received reports from across the galaxy. Humans were now sought after as diplomats, scientists, and strategic partners. Their ability to adapt had become their greatest strength. Young humans prepared for galactic challenges with a new understanding. They were no longer limited by old thinking. They were defined by potential. The Austrian Empire, once dismissive of humans, now requested human advisors. Their crystal cities now included human research centers. What was once impossible had become normal. Some Min-Kang's communication systems connected species that had never spoken before. Humans became bridges between different galactic cultures. Their ability to understand and adapt became their greatest diplomatic tool. Daeyeon Seo's medical research had transformed biological understanding. Species learned how to improve their own capabilities by studying human adaptation methods. What was once a weakness became a strength. Jae-sung reflected on that moment 5 years ago. A single demonstration had changed everything. Humans were not just survivors. They were potential waiting to be understood. Earth had changed. No longer a single planet, humans had become a galactic species. Space stations surrounded their home world. Research centers reached into unknown territories. Young people prepared for challenges that would have seemed impossible before. The Marine team's demonstration was more than a military test. It was a statement about human capability, about the power of growth, about the ability to change. New technologies emerged. New ways of thinking developed. Humans showed the galaxy that potential is not given. It is earned. Alien species began to understand something important. Humans were not defined by their current capabilities. They were defined by their ability to grow, to change, to become something more. Jae-sung looked at the young cadets training below. They would go further than his team ever imagined. They would push beyond current limitations. They would show the galaxy what humans could truly do. The stars outside seemed to shine brighter. Massive space stations moved with purpose. Human ships explored territories no one had ever seen before. This was not the end of the human story. This was just the beginning. The galaxy had learned an important lesson. Humans were not a weak species to be ignored. They were a potential waiting to be understood. And they were just getting started.